Hello and welcome everybody to New Earth Consciousness. Happy to have you here. I'm Tanya and I'm here live with Jason Globelli. He is the creator of the FFL modality, which you're going to find out, so stay tuned in. Please like and subscribe. Uh, Jason, thank you so much for being on the show with me. We're going to hop into a lot of different topics, I'm sure. So, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Honored to be on your podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to dive into what you have to share. I'd love for you to maybe just describe like your own personal journey. Like how did you get into, well, the hypnosis, you're into neuroscience, you do some seminars around neuroscience, you're an author, you teach a lot about finance and real estate, you have multiple businesses and companies. So share with us about, yeah, your journey. How did you arrive to now?
So I guess me is who I am, and I started young in a small town in Western Maryland, living in the sticks, up in Cumberland, Maryland, and a major event sent ripples throughout my whole life, I could say. But there was probably even before that event, there were things that happened, with our parents and stuff like that. But when I was 11 years old, we were at our Thanksgiving dinner in the backyard. And my dad, he was 35. He overdosed in the backyard and died speedballing.
Mm,
So so that left a pretty major effect on me. I swore I'd never be like him. I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be like that. But it didn't take long before I was on a similar path as him.
yeah.
So the drugs were major. He was only 35. He died far too young. And once I started going down that path, I thought that maybe I was going to be the same way. We lived in Maryland and we moved to California. And needless to say, I'm 63 years old. So that was right in the 70s. And the 70s of California was a pretty big drug haven.
Wild
And
time. Yeah.
and I was right in the midst of all of it. Um, in the meantime, even though I was doing that, I still wanted more. So I remember I got in some serious trouble behind drugs in high school, and I tried the church path, and
Mm-hmm.
that lasted for about you know 3 or 4 months, and then I was worse than before. And I tried to get married to fix myself, and that didn't work. I chased the money, and I learned how to be pretty effective in communicating with people.
Mm-hmm.
And my intentions were wrong though, because it was all about chasing the money. So
Mm-hmm.
I learned sales in the car business. Actually, I started selling newspapers, and did some retail stuff, and I learned this, but it didn't really satisfy me. I mean, it was giving me good money, especially at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
I actually worked for the Mitsubishi dealership in Fresno, and we were the number one Mitsubishi dealership in the United States. And I was managing the number one sales team. And that was I thought that was a pretty good thing at my age. However, the way I was partying and running it was not a pretty thing.
Mm-hmm.
And at 26, I ended up in a rehab.
Wow.
And
So young,
20
yeah.
26, I was locked up in the hospital. I was in a lockdown facility, and I got clean, and I started to work on my life. I started to make some changes, and when I started making those changes is when my life started to change and go in different directions. And when it started going different directions, it helped me expand what I already knew, but then it also added that element of doing the right thing for the right reasons and being comfortable in my own skin. And when I started down that path, I started learning about spiritual principles. Now that's 36 years ago, so I've been clean for 36 years. So that's no mind altering substances at all. Well, probably only about 20 years of being without the caffeine.
Mm, wow.
but I kicked the caffeine too. So no coffee, none of that stuff.
Amazing. Yeah.
And I got pretty good energy for not having it, but I thought I wouldn't. But then again, our minds always lie to us. We think we need that crutch.
Yeah.
And I find it so much better to be clear and level-headed.
Yeah.
I
Beautiful.
know this rubs wrong with some of the people in the industry because, they like to do journeys with like psychedelics
Right, right.
or
Yeah,
this
that's a
other
big
stuff.
deal right now. I mean, it just seems to me a big I don't want to call it a craze, but and I'm sure there's value in some of it, but it definitely I'm seeing it now more than ever before, journeying with plant medicine and so forth to kind of have some kind of breakthrough. Anyway, I interrupted you. So,
No, you're absolutely right. I'm
yeah,
with you 100%.
yeah,
My disbelief is that I don't need anything outside me to have the breakthrough. Everything that I need for the breakthrough is already internal. As a
yeah,
matter of fact, anything outside me clouds the vision that I have or the clarity that I have with that internal source inside. So I don't want to cloud that vision. I
yeah,
want to keep that vision solid,
yeah,
clear. And I don't want to have anything in there that's gonna, I know it's called medicine, but I don't believe in medicine anyway. I believe that the body heals itself. It's
yeah,
supposed to heal itself. So
mhm,
I rarely take anything.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think I kind of had the same realization the first time I ever did any kind of psychedelic. I was young. I was in my early 20s at college, and I had my first mushroom
Yeah.
experience, and it was a beautiful experience. But I had this deep inner knowing, this inner voice saying, "There's a way to this without having to take something into yourself. Like it's already within you. All of this that you're experiencing on this plant, this mushroom, it's there's another way that is where you don't need all of that. And that's when I started my journey with meditation and yoga and spirituality. So I'm curious, like I mean, it feels like a pretty good segue into talking about this modality that you created. Um, tell us about that.
So you can't solve an internal problem with an external solution, by the way. Internal problems need internal solutions. And that's just the way that it is. And so I found that in living life, there's just laws, like gravity.
Mm,
There's laws.
mhm,
And not only just physical laws, but there's spiritual laws. Whether you believe in electricity or not, it works.
yeah,
Whether you believe in gravity or not, it works. And there's spiritual laws that just works. And many of us don't realize it or don't want to admit it, but there's a spiritual realm that we live in. We're spiritual beings living in a physical world. And so many me example. When I was younger, for many years I was stuck in that feeling of why would dad kill himself and all this stuff
yeah,
and abandon us and all this, maybe I'm not good enough stuff that and I'm not the only one. I talking to many people, a lot of us go through things in life that maybe I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough. I mean, we've been told by our parents so many times. No is the word that kids hear more than anything else is no. So we got all these limiting beliefs and all this
yeah,
crap that was just laid upon us. And then the other thing is that and they don't try to hurt us, but our parents, our teachers, even the ministers, our preachers, our spiritual guides, they all throw this like their beliefs on us, which limits us. And a lot of it's future stuff, the worries, the fears. Maybe I'm not a good person if I'm not acting a certain way, or if just all this junk. I call it the muck. There's muck in the past. There's muck in the future. There's just a mess. The worries, the fears, the anxieties of the future, the pain, the hurt, the regret from the past. it just gets us all messed up. And when we're living in fear or insecurity or living from that pain from the past, what happened to us? I mean, that's a big one that can really destroy us because our bodies relive it. And when we're living in that and having that reliving, that resentment and all that stuff from the past or that stuff in the future, it really skews up our lives because our lives happen now,
Yes.
right now. What happened yesterday is a canceled check. What happens tomorrow is a promissory note. But today is cash in hand, baby. And cash in hand is where it's at because that's what it's really worth right now
Yeah.
is the cash. So we want to stay right here in the now. We want to stay in the present and we want to live for today, here, now, because that's the only thing we really got. We can't change the past and we can't predict the future. We only have now. So, in order to do that, I look at the spiritual principles, and three of them are just so powerful that they control everything. And first F in the FFL modality is faith, because with faith, centered, secure inside, we don't have to worry. We don't have to fear. We don't have to do any of that. My wife has this saying that she uses a lot. She goes, if you're going to pray, then why are you in fear? And if you're going to be in fear, then why are you praying?
Mm. Well, yeah. It's
So that just
a good point. Kind of like
takes care of the future.
if you're gonna pray, you've got to believe in it. I mean, essentially, right? Like there
It's
can't be any question.
exactly, Tanya. You just have to believe in it. And even like all of them, all the prophets from all the different religions, they all say the same thing. It's by your faith that you're healed, right? It's by your belief that it becomes the reality. So that cures all that. What's going to happen tomorrow? It's all done for a reason.
Yeah.
And and the past, there's only one thing, the second F, forgiveness. Because really, when I can forgive myself, the big one, well, I forgive others for what they've done to me. Doesn't mean I have to forget. I forgive. But when I can forgive myself, that's the big one. When I can forgive myself, I can be free from the chains that bind me, those things that keep us trapped and stuck and spinning. If we can cut all that stuff loose through forgiveness, we can come to a point where it's another spiritual principle, but it starts with forgiveness. We can come to acceptance,
Mm, mhm.
accept things as they are.
Yeah.
But it starts with forgiveness. So we got the faith for the future, the forgiveness for the past, and it brings us into the present, living in the present. Now, so often, selfishness, it's the nature of us to be selfish. I want more. It's like when a kid doesn't get the rattle, they cry for the rattle.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they want more. They want more of it. They want more. If it's good, they want more. If it tastes good, they want more. Even though it's not good for them, they want more ice cream. It's that inherent nature to get more, and the the selfishness, and it causes things like anger, greed, like jealousy, like these present things that take us off the path where we need to be. So the L is love. It's faith, forgiveness, and love. Because when we live in love, love for ourselves, love for those around us, what happens is our world heals. Not only do I heal, but everybody that I touch heals. Love is like a light. When it walks into a room, it lights up the whole room. A person who's centered and connected, love with themselves. I'm not talking about ego. I'm talking about love where they want to express it. You can't give what you don't got. But if you got that inside, it spreads. And it will literally, I mean, it does. A smile can light up a room. A smile can change a person's life. I mean, and that's what our mission is, I believe, is what we're called to do, is to be a light and to make the world a better place. And that can be done by just smiling at a person walking down the street and trying to spread some love, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's
No, love is the most powerful. I believe that it absolutely does heal. That's been my experience. You know, is just and yeah, you're right. Like just we don't know how we're impacting others with our presence, even strangers, you know. That's really beautiful. Um, so in this FFL modality, like this, is that the modality, you mentioned before we got on this interview, you talked about, life changing. And so how is it through, is the FFL modality, does it include things like hypnosis and coaching, or what is it?
It's in everything I do.
Mm.
And hypnosis is pretty much everything too. Look, I'm in sales.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do sales all the time. I sell real estate. I've sold cars. I've sold furniture. I've sold insurance. I've done sales all my whole life. I've been successful in sales. I've made careers in sales. I've created businesses that are sales oriented. All sales is advanced communication.
Yeah,
All-
and I'd love to talk about this because, I feel like there are so many entrepreneurs out there. I'm on, I share my content a lot on Facebook, and so I'm kind of in these realms where I see a lot of healers and coaches that are struggling, right? Which is all about sales and communication. And I feel like I know for myself, I'll just explain, like for myself, my struggle has been, first of all, um, sales has always kind of felt like I've had fear around it, right? Like, oh, I don't want to come across as greedy, or I don't want to be off-putting, or and so sales feels like this murky, we know how it, what it's like when someone tries to sell you something and it's not a good experience, right? It doesn't feel good to the other person. And so, I mean, I'm sure that our audience would love to hear, well, what's the formula? Like, okay, yeah, it's communication. So how do we do sales in a way that is a positive experience for both involved? And I'm sure like it makes sense, the FFL modality, I can imagine how that comes into play.
it's such a, and I'm sorry, but that's such a murky view that so many of us have with
Yeah.
sales. We
Yeah.
treat people like they're poison. But
Yeah.
all of our lives, that's all we've done is sales. All communication is sales. We're
Yeah.
putting our ideas and expressing our ideas to someone else. As babies, we're in sales. When we want more food, we
Yeah.
cry for more food. When we want, you know what I'm saying? If you want the milk,
Yeah.
you, you're crying for the milk, so you're expressing that what you want. So
Yeah.
the key is, what are the reasons behind it and what are your motives? Are you doing the right thing for the right reasons? I mean, doing the right thing is better than doing the wrong thing. Don't get me wrong. The wrong thing is the worst thing in the world to do. But if you're doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, it's better than doing the wrong thing, but it doesn't compare to doing the right thing for the right reasons. So if
Mm.
you're doing the right thing and your motives are right, you're there to help people, it makes all the difference in the world. So we influence people all the time. I mean, do you have kids? I
Mhm.
have kids. I mean, you go with the kids and you tell them, hey, you want to eat this first because it's good for you.
Yeah.
You try to influence them. So everything's a sales pitch. We have to sell bedtime, so it's all sales.
This is true.
It's all life is sales.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We all do this. This big stigma is this fear or this stuff that somebody's going to make me do something that I don't want to do. Someone's going to make me do something that's going to hurt me.
Mhm.
It's that safety net, that thing, and it's a lot of it's wrapped up in the fear. So, and I infuse my FFL in everything, everything. And my new book, my latest book,
Yeah, show us what you have.
the one Beyond Sales, the Neuroscience of Advance. It's a huge book. It just came out.
Awesome.
Beyond Sales and Neuro, you can get it on Amazon. The Beyond Sales, the Neuroscience of Advanced Communication. I go through that extensively because sales isn't about one and done. It's not about, and let's make it, you're not the player out there trying to score and get a quick, easy hit and go from the bar. You follow what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's
And
about
that's often how
building.
it's presented.
That's often how it's presented. That's not how it is. Those guys aren't the best. The best salesmen build relationships. Key relationships that are win for both people, where both people feel good, and they build strategic partnerships that last lifetime. Lifetime. I mean, we all have them. That person who sold us something that ends up being our friend. And
Yeah.
we're selling them something too. Money is just, it's like water.
Yeah.
It's energy. And
Mhm.
it's just the flow of energy back and forth. I mean, a prime example to prove that money is water is if you take $100 bill and you put it in your drawer, then you come back a year later. I mean, the $100 bill's there, but it's not the same $100 bill.
Right.
It's not worth $100 no more. It
Right.
won't buy $100 today, won't buy what $100 will buy tomorrow because it's fluid. It
Right.
just moves.
Oh, changing. Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of getting in the right current,
Yeah.
having the right energy. Money will move to you. I mean, I'm a big believer in some of the things that were taught in the past. I mean, and this really helps when you learn sales because you learn a lot of positive mindset from a lot of
Yeah.
the sales trainers. And it's true that you can get everything you want in life by helping other people get everything they want in life.
Mm.
That's it. You get it by giving. You don't get it by selling somebody the broken, the car with the bad transmission in order to make a quick buck. I
Right.
mean, that's what gives salespeople a bad name. You get it by doing the right thing for the right reasons. Back to what I said in the beginning, spiritual principles. When we live by those things, then we get the other principles, not just the faith, forgiveness, and love, but then we get the acceptance, the gratitude, the tolerance when someone's not there. All these, the
Mm.
humility to realize that we're all the same. We're no different. I mean, that salesperson is no different. We have to rip the labels. I mean, that comes in the forgiveness section. We have to rip the labels from people, especially our parents. Because if I call my mom mom or my dad dad, then I have this preconditioned thought in my mind of what a mother or a father should be.
Mm.
And I don't allow them to be human. And then when they do something that I think a mother or a father can do, then I'm thinking, well, that's wrong. And when I don't allow them to be human, I don't, it blocks me. When I allow them to be a human and I can see him as a human being, it makes all the difference in the world. I'll give you an example if you want. Do you want an example?
Ah, yeah, sure.
So for a lot of years, I was upset with my father because he abandoned me and
Yeah.
what all the stuff that he did. Well, one day I was driving over there on the East Coast in Maryland, and it was a rainy day. The universe always aligns itself. And I looked over in the woods and I saw one single flower by itself. And I thought, I'm going to take that flower and give it to my dad. So I went to the graveyard to give it to my dad, and I sat down and knelt down to give him the flower. And when I knelt down there, I ripped that label of dad off him for a minute.
Hmm.
And I thought, I can imagine how he felt being stuck,
Yeah.
addicted to drugs,
Yeah.
thinking, I have these four kids in my life that I have. I'm a burden to them. I just got fired from my job. I can't stay clean. I'm a mess. And all that guilt and shame and all I felt his pain.
Yeah.
Or I imagined that I felt his pain.
Hmm.
And when I saw him as a human, I was able to not only forgive him, but have empathy
Yeah.
and move on from that and say, he did the best he could. Matter of fact, he overdosing might have been his way to say, I'm not doing you guys no good no more because I'm a piece of shit. And
Mm.
it's so sad because some of us go through that based off of our limiting beliefs and all that baggage we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
And did he was just stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. My firstborn son, kind of a similar experience. His father committed suicide when he was 15. And, as a mother to have to bear witness to that, I mean, I think, for a son to lose his father and to lose that, like you said, a father's supposed to be this, a father's supposed to be forever, a father's supposed to be strong and you know, and to have that kind of that illusion ripped away from yourself, thinking like, oh, I can't wait to show dad who I'm going to become, or whatever, have these moments of celebration through life that maybe most the dream is that most other people have. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think all families struggle, whether, whether they're alive or not. But yeah, it is a huge impact in the psyche of the child, to have that. Um, I don't know if it's not a fairy tale, but just like to have the illusion shattered, right? To have that illusion completely shattered, and to have to face a very hard reality at a very young age, to realize, oh, okay, yeah, and to have all those beliefs, like you said. I mean, I feel like wow, it's no coincidence that you and I are talking because I think the child immediately inherits this belief of, like you were saying, wow, I wasn't good enough for him to stay alive, right? Like I
Yeah,
think that's the first thought
they
that comes
didn't.
up.
What
I
did I
wasn't
do?
good enough.
And
I
they
wasn't
got me.
enough.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and there's just so much more when we look at him as a human.
Yeah.
And it's not, and they don't have to commit suicide for us to do this. My mother has these unrealistic, she's so strict, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
not living up to their expectations. It's like, okay, well, maybe she's gone through some things.
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't there when she dealt with that. I mean, she's a human. Maybe she cares enough that she wants more, and it's her only way of expressing it. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
But
Right.
when we look at people as human beings with flaws, all the perfect flaws,
Yeah. Yeah.
happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us are, know it, know the path. I mean, I'm a big believer. I like to call the source, the higher power, God.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in God, and it's real simple. That if I could fit the ideas of God here, if I could understand it, it would be a pretty small God to fit in this little brain.
Yeah. There's almost like, would you say that there has to be within yourself, especially when it comes to faith, to be willing to rest with the unknown,
Absolutely.
right? Like,
Absolutely. It's it's not something that I'm supposed to understand.
right.
It's bigger than me. How can I understand something that's so much bigger and greater than me? I'm not supposed to understand. I'm supposed to trust. And so you got these people who come around, maybe preachers or whatever, and they want to tell you everything about God and their view of God and
Yeah.
how it is. It's like this. And when I say preachers, I'm not talking about any particular religion because they could be from everywhere. Oh, I see God as this and I see God as this and this is the way God works and the way that God works and they got all these explanations of how God is. And it's like, dude, if God can fit in your brain, it's a small God.
Right.
It's like
Right.
that's not the way it works. Someone gave me this prayer. I love this prayer. I got it years ago. I love it. It's my favorite. I share it with a lot of people. They said, Jason, forget anything anyone's ever told you about the idea of God. Take it and throw it out. And then pray, God, show yourself to me the way you want me to see you.
Oh, I
That
love
was
that.
it. Show
Yeah.
yourself to me the way you want me to see you. I didn't really get it then, but I started praying and I get it now because it's not about religion. It's about a relationship. It's
Right.
about building that relationship so that you can trust. Like if I got somebody that I want to trust, if I trust somebody, I'm going to know them. I'm not going to give a stranger and say, "Hey man, I'm busy doing this right now. Can you do me a favor? My bank card. Here's the keys to my car. Run to the bank and get me some money and bring it back here because I'm busy right now." I'm not going to do that to a stranger. But
Right.
if it's somebody I trust, somebody that I've built a relationship with, somebody that I know, because I've been talking to him,
Mhm.
I'll say, "Hey, dude,
Yeah.
here's the keys to my car. Here's my bank account. This is the number. Go get it for me." Well, that's just about things.
Right.
That's not my life.
Right.
That's not my goals, my dreams, my desires. Well, if I'm going to give those to God, then I need to talk. I
Mm.
need to build a communication. I need to build a relationship. So I don't have to understand. I just got to have faith. And the faith has to be strong enough to where I can trust. Because from faith it starts. Just like forgiveness starts and grows into acceptance,
Yeah.
faith starts and grows into trust. Many people get this mixed up. They think hope. faith and trust are the same thing. They almost use them like they're switched back and forth,
Sure. Yeah.
but they're not. Hope is when you buy a lottery ticket and you hope you're going to win.
Mm.
There's a shot, but you're really not feeling it, right?
Yeah.
That's hope.
Yeah.
You know, I like to
Yeah.
joke and say, it's when the Cleveland Brown fans say they hope their team's going to make the playoffs, right? You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? It's the long shot thing.
Yeah.
Faith is when you really believe it's going to happen. Faith is when, okay, I really believe it's going to happen. But trust is when you're all in. Trust my kid. If I took my kid and I put him on the top of the refrigerator and
Hmm.
said, Xavier, jump in daddy's arms. Now, he may have all the faith in the world that I'm going to catch him. But trust is when his little feet leave the top of the fridge and he's airborne.
Ah, interesting. Yeah.
Trust is when the faith goes into action.
Right. I was going to say, it's about taking those steps, moving. Yeah.
That's when miracles happen. When you get that calling and you have that feeling that you're supposed to go somewhere and you're supposed to do something, you may believe it's right. But when you sit back in your own skin and say, "Oh, I'm not ready. I don't know if I can do this. Everything's not aligned yet," that
Mhm.
just means you're lacking the trust
Mm.
to put it into action.
Yeah.
So you need to have that trust.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are waiting for proof first before that they can move on something, right? But it's really waiting for proof. It's almost like you're not really growing. You're kind of just you're basically you're saying, I just want to stay in my comfort zones.
I think that's called doubt, not faith.
Yeah, right.
I want to stay in my comfort zones, not trust. That's not even faith.
Yeah.
That's not even where it begins. That's doubt. That keeps us stuck. Like the thing with the bird that falls in the shit and then starts to sing in the shit and gets eaten because that whole scenario. It's you gotta have faith
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then put that faith into action. And
Yeah.
it's in all the religions. It is. I mean, there's missionaries that'll be here in the United States, and this is just an example of how it works.
Mhm.
In the United States, and they'll go to their church or whatever congregation, mosque or whatever it is, and they'll pray and what do their thing. But then they'll go on a mission and they'll go to some foreign country, and then all of a sudden they'll start to say things, and miracles will start happening. Those
Mm.
people will start. I mean, it's documented. People will cure from the walk that couldn't walk and stuff like that, and miracles will start happening. It's not because the missionary went over. It's because that person believed.
Yeah, right.
That person believed. I mean, really believed, had faith in it.
Yeah.
So when they never walked before and they say, I believe, and they stand. They put their faith into action. They believe, they trust, and it works. It's by that faith that they're healed and that they get stronger, that we grow.
Yeah, beautiful. And
So
that's and I can see where, it's like we have all these different areas in life, whether it's relationships or business or, personal development or whatever, that piece about having faith, knowing in your heart what it is that you really want and what you want to experience. It's about choosing it and knowing that it's going to happen. Maybe you don't know how necessarily, but faith to me is feels very much that it's about it's about choosing. You have to choose to have the faith, correct?
yeah, I believe that too. You choose. You just believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just have the faith.
Yeah.
And it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's that bondage, those lies, those limited things that we get stuck with that kills us.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to be successful with this. How can you make any money in that?
Right. And so what would you say is when those thoughts come up, how do you coach people through that? If they've got all these, these negative thoughts that come up that, is it just as simple as, thank you very much, I hear you, but I'm going to leave you on the shelf over there. I'm focused here. Does it take a certain amount of building up that muscle of faith of just hearing the doubts and doing it anyway.
It's about believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's straight up. I remember when I was in sales and I got my first real sales job
Uh-huh.
selling cars.
Uh-huh.
I walked into this car lot, brand new, and they had a Ford Escort, a bright yellow Ford Escort, and it was on the side of the lot. It was my first day at work. And I looked at the Ford Escort and I said, well, that's nice. And they said, there's a bonus on it this weekend. They said, whoever sells it gets an extra 350 bucks. It's been on the lot forever.
Mm.
Cool. I thought, well, can I go show it to somebody? And they looked at me like I was crazy. Well, I happen to know that my stepfather loved Fords. They had the price marked down and they had a bonus on it. So I drove it over to his house and I said, check this out. And he goes, oh, yeah, it looks like a nice car. So he ended up buying it because he needed a car anyway.
Uh-huh.
So, so he bought this Ford Escort. I made 350 bucks. Now he told me before, he goes, why don't you get a real job? Why don't you go do construction or something like that and get a real job?
Yeah.
This is what he always told me before I even went, got into the car business. I brought it to him. He bought the car. He's After he bought the car, he goes, Jason, how much money did you make on that? I said, I made 350 bucks, Dad. He goes, well, it's about time you got a job where you can pay your bills. It's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but the story is before I went, they said, why don't you get a real job?
Yeah.
Right. But now it's like, okay, you're going to be
Right,
able
right.
to survive with it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's
So
all perspective.
it's all about perspective
Yeah.
and that energy flows.
Yeah.
So when we give, my intentions were good. He wanted a good car. I knew he liked those cars, and that was a good car for him. You know,
Mhm.
Eh, my intentions were good and it worked out right. So when the intentions are right and you do the right thing for the right reason, it all flows.
Close. It's simple.
It
Yeah.
does.
Beautiful.
If you have fear
Mhm.
about buying something like I'm afraid to buy because I'm going to get stuck, you broadcast that. And it shows us fear through selling too.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we all sell. You sell your ideas.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
you sell your whole new earth consciousness is all sales. You selling you. We all sell ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's just
dating
energy
is selling
exchange.
yourself.
It's just exchanging of energy, of sharing, of, yeah.
It's exchange of energy, and money is just energy,
Right.
and you vote with that. And more money means it's a lot of energy.
Right.
So if you're asking for more money, you want to give a lot of energy back into it.
Right. Yeah. Awesome.
Tap into a good source.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. I share with us you had two other books that you have written.
So
I'm gonna share
I
that.
have my first book is Infused Hypnosis, The
Mhm.
Transformative Power of the FFL Modality. And that's where I explain the FFL modality. And because I'm in the United States, some people don't like this, but I thought it was really cool. I
Yeah.
used examples of Jesus Christ as a hypnotist and Jesus
Oh,
Christ as examples of how the FFL modality works. So,
cool.
it's just amazing.
Yeah, cool.
And then my other book is a kid's book. It's called How Rocky the Lobster Outgrew His Shell. And it's an interesting story. I love this book because it's a quick story. But what's really interesting was that um, last October, my I couldn't take my blood pressure. I was getting dizzy and not feeling well,
Hmm.
and I couldn't take my blood pressure. This was like on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and it wasn't getting it. Well, my wife finally got my heart rate, and it was like 195. And then my blood pressure was extremely low, extremely low. So I was having something going on with my heart. So the ambulance came over and they took me to the hospital. They gave me the shot to restart my heart.
Hmm.
They called it a control alt delete on my heart and they got me running again. And I thought about it and I thought, well, Jason, maybe you're human. And my grandson was supposed to visit me that weekend.
Hmm.
And all I wanted to do was get out of the hospital and be home for when my grandson visited me. So I finally made it out of the hospital. I got home in time for when he came home to visit, But when I was in the shower, I thought, you know what? I want to leave something for him. I'm going to write a kid's book. So that morning I got up and I wrote the book. Now I didn't want it to just be any book. It had to have my FFL modality in it. And his name is Isaiah, but I'm the grandfather, so I can call him anything I want. And even though my son said, you can't call him Rocky, I said, watch, I'm going to call him Rocky. And I've been calling him Rocky his whole life. And he loves when I call him Rocky because I'm his pappy. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And so that's my thing for him. And it's stuck. And my son's cool with it now. And so
Uh,
I wrote the book, and that's where how Rocky the lobster outgrew his shell started.
mm.
And lobsters actually outgrow their shells. And there's rock lobsters. So Rocky the lobster just seemed to make sense. The story is pretty cool. Rocky's uncomfortable dealing with himself in his own skin,
Mm,
and so he's just he has a hard time with himself, and his friends do too. And he's got four friends:
mhm,
Kenny the crab, Sam the squid, and Chris the clam. Now, Kenny the crab is the kid who, when he gets picked on, he likes to bully others sometimes. He just likes to tease and stuff.
mhm,
And Sam the squid is the one who jokes around a lot to make friends. He jokes to make friends.
mm,
And Chris the clam, he clams up. He just doesn't like to, he's shy. He
mm,
doesn't like to talk to people.
mm.
And I'm going to try to do it fast, but I think you'll like the story.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And so one day, Chris the crab starts picking on Sam the squid. Says you can't play tag right with all your arms. Look at you. And Rocky says, "Quit doing that. That's mean." But Kenny the crab still starts teasing the squid, Sam
Mhm,
the squid.
mhm,
So Rocky feels it boiling in his stomach. He gets angry. And Rocky starts a fight with the crab, and they start to get in a fist fight. Well, the teacher, Miss Sophie, Sophie, by the way, means wise.
mhm,
Miss Sophie comes over and says, you guys need a life lesson, all four of you, to the classroom. And then she tells them, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change
yeah.
greatly.
Yep.
Then she goes on to talk about faith and believing in themselves and trusting who they are, that God loves them and they were made this way for a reason. Then she goes to talk about forgiveness and how, carrying anger is like carrying rocks on your heart and you need to let it go and forgive. And then she talks about love and how we're all in this together and we're all in this boat together. Now, these kids don't care. They don't really think much about it. They just want to go home and play.
Mhm,
But on the way home, Rocky's going home from school and there's a boat on top of the surface. And there's a teenage girl and she's putting on her makeup. A wind blows and the mirror falls out of the boat and it falls to the bottom of the ocean. And when it falls to the bottom of the ocean, it falls right in front of Rocky. And he looks at himself in the mirror and he remembers the words that Miss Sophie said. And he says, I'm sorry, Rocky.
mm,
Please forgive me for the things I've went through, for being angry.
mm,
I love you. Thank you. And he just felt different, lighter, like he outgrew a shell. So the next morning he goes to school and he sees Chris the clown. And he says, Chris, how are you doing? I'd love to hear what you have to say. And Chris just woke up. He was so excited that someone wanted to hear about him that he opened up his shell and he started sharing things he's never shared before.
mm,
Then he runs into Sam the squid and he tells Sam, he goes, Sam, I like you just the way you are. You don't have to be silly to be my friend. I really like you.
mhm,
And Sam the squid just cries and wraps his arms around Rocky and gives him a big hug. Then he sees Chris the crab, Kenny the crab, the one he got into the fight with. And he says, Kenny, he goes, I'm sorry for yesterday. I don't want to fight no more. I just want to be your friend. And Kenny said, I like that. He goes, I don't want to fight either. I'd like to be friends. And those two became best friends.
mhm,
Then the four of them got together and they formed a rock and roll band. And Rocky was the lead guitarist. Sam the Squid was on the drums.
mhm,
Kenny the Crab was the bass player. And Chris the Clam, the shy one, he was the lead singer. He had a beautiful voice. He just needed to express it. They
Mhm.
went around and they started singing songs and sharing about faith, forgiveness, and love, and realized Miss Sophie was right.
Mm.
When you look at things differently, the whole world changes.
Oh, sweet.
So I thought that was a pretty cool story and a
That is
good
a pretty cool
for the
story.
kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's very sweet. Very,
But it's got my modality in there.
yeah.
It's got the Ho'opono in there. It's got healing stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
And they might understand it, and they might not. They might not, but they'll get it. They'll feel it,
Hmm. Absolutely.
and hopefully it changes lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful. What do you have to, you said you had some gifts that you
oh
were
yes, yes, yes,
wanting
I
to
do.
share.
So I got some free
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, and my website is go dash like the minus sign, go dash under.com. Now, if you go dash under.com /
Hmm.
self sabotage, SELF dash sabotage.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
if you do that, you're going to get a free ebook that I wrote. It's called Do You Sabotage Yourself Without Even Knowing It?
Mm.
And it has FFL modality in it too. It
Nice.
has a lot to do with self-esteem.
Uh-huh.
And it's a great book for reading and getting centered. And then my other gift that I want to give them is the same thing, go-under.com, but then type in better, BETTER dash life, LIFE dash choices, CHOICES. It's better life choices. That is a hypnotic recording. It's part of my 26 recording series. I got a whole series of recordings. So I'm going to give you a taste with one that's focused on better life choices.
Okay.
And it has FFL on it. I
Okay.
mean, it's simple. I start with the induction, a nice long induction because it's a tape and I'm not there. A long induction, then I got heavy, heavy, heavy metaphor, a nice thick metaphor for better life choices. Then
Mhm.
we throw in the affirmations. Then we throw in anchoring, and then I tie everything together and I wrap everything up with my tie it to download it and check it out.
Oh, Jason, it froze. You wrap everything up with,
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw you froze.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
It
didn't know
froze.
if you had your eyes closed like this, and I thought, is she really thinking about it or what's going on? I said I wrap it up with my FFL modality,
Okay.
the strong healing power. That way it ties everything together and just brings it there and comes back to the source. Faith, forgiveness, and love. It brings it all together. So it's in every single one of my CDs and every single one of my hypnotic recordings is it's there. And yeah, so
Beautiful.
that's how that works. All 26 of them, it has it. And I said I was going to give an offer too.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I did this at Hypnothoughts, but I'm going to carry it over for your viewers.
Hmm.
August 19th, 20th, and 21st in Carlsbad, California. I'm doing a seminar with Marshall Silver. Are you familiar with Marshall?
Why that name sounds familiar, but I don't recall.
Marshall Silver is a hypnotist
Hmm.
and he works on heavy mindset, but he also works heavy with money. And he goes by the Millionaire Maker. He's worth about $80 million. He's done major seminars all over the country. He's done infomercials. He's written books. He's and he's headlined on the stages of Vegas. Been
Mm.
on Letterman 8 times. I mean, he's Howard Stern all over. So I'm doing the seminar with him. Normally, his seminar costs $29.95. If you go to his website, it costs $29.95. Mine, I'm charging normally $9.95 for mine. I'm doing one with them. I'm doing the neuroscience of a successful mindset. So we're going to share the stage together. That's going to be in Carlsbad next month, August 19th through the 21st. Now here's the bonus. Here's the kicker.
Hmm.
I'm going to do everything for 195, $195, and that'll be for two people. So that's phenomenally cheap. I
Yeah,
can do that because I'm on the stage and Marshall's allow me to do it since I'm on the stage with them.
amazing.
So
Okay.
195,
Mhm.
two people, 3 days. You'll be you'll be breaking through barriers. You'll be busting boards with your hand, eating fire, all kinds of stuff. It'll be so empowering.
And so if so those two slots, how if somebody's like, oh, I want that, how do they grab that?
Contact me. Go to
Okay.
my website, contact me. Don't go to the website and order it because if you go on the website and order it, you'll get the full price.
Okay, so
So
contact me.
reach out to me. My email is go-under.com. I mean, I'm sorry, that was my website. My email is go.under.trance at Gmail.
Okay.
Go under trance at Gmail. Go.under.trance at Gmail.
Okay.
And when I say dot, that's a period. That's
Got it.
not
Yeah.
filling the
Got
word
it.
dot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So yeah, contact me and I'll get you registered and we'll just do it that way. That way you don't, go through the websites and pay the full price. So
Gotcha.
that's a nice little bonus to give to your audience.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Amazing. Thank you, Jason, so much
Well, thank you.
for all of this. I mean, really, I think you are putting out a very powerful, real message, you know, truths that people can really live by. And yeah, your freebies are, I'm going to go check them out myself. And
Yes.
yeah, and the offer that you have on the table for two lucky people,
Yeah.
they want to grab it. So
We're not far from Arizona and I would totally love to see you there.
yeah, awesome. Well, Jason, thank you so much. And thank you to all the viewers. Again, share this video with anyone that you think would love it. Like, subscribe, and until next time, be well. We'll talk soon. Thanks, Jason.